Every company in 2026 is going to be rolling out AI agents to every single department inside the company. We mean every employee is going to have an AI coworker that they can rely on for basically every task to make their job more enjoyable. And we've actually helped a ton of companies do this at this point, going from no AI strategy, literally no AI tools, to AI coworkers, hundreds of AI coworkers throughout the entire company. And something that we've seen is like a big misconception, a big problem that companies have is they jump right into building before going through a use case discovery process. Why is this use case discovery process so important?
You need to know what the end goal is. Like, what are you planning to build? What's the vision? The steps along the way is where the building part comes in. That's the easy part. But if you really want true adoption, you have to know what to build. It's got to be tied to a goal of some sort. There's all kinds of things you have to discover in that in itself.
Why does it, so like, because there's so many companies that we talk to that it's like, we buy Microsoft Copilot or something like that, and then we just roll it out to all of our employees. And then they're like, well, guys, no one's using it. We've tried to use AI, like no one's done it. Like, why does that keep happening?
I think part of it, it's a blank page. It's like you've effectively given them a prompt. Okay, go type something, ask a question. What question are you going to ask it, right? You need to have things set up. Oh, go to this agent when you're working on this part of your job or that part of your job, and everything's already set up in a way that matches exactly like how you'd actually go and do the task. And you ask your question because you have something to do and you know to go to that agent. You go, oh, wow, that worked. What else can I do?
Yeah.
What other things can I automate? And from there, it's a trickle effect.
So it's kind of like you're giving all your employees like a hammer, but they don't see any nails or they don't know what the nail is. So they're just like banging and it's like, well, nothing's getting done.
Exactly.
Yeah. So basically you kind of been working for the past couple of years on doing a lot of this use case discovery. And you guys have a bit of a process, but I think it starts right with this idea of like the AI workshop.
Yeah.
And what is the value? Like, so, a company's got nothing at this point. They have, they don't even have, ChatGPT. Maybe they do have ChatGPT, but like the next stage in every company in 2026 is like, all right, we want to go beyond simple chat. Even rolling out simple chat didn't work, but we want to take it. We want to do end-to-end automation. We want to have all these efficiency gains. How do you get to that point? And it sounds like it starts with the AI workshop.
It's the workshop. Yeah. It's definitely the starting point. And I think even beyond, like, there's a way to run the workshop. There's the questions, the structure. Let's talk about the goal of the workshop. I think even part of it is just building the buy-in, right? You just mentioned it's like you might have already rolled something out and everybody's like, oh, we're doing another AI rollout. Let's get everybody excited again, figure out like what are the different things that are possible, create that buy-in so people are like, no, we're going to do it right this time because we actually have a strategy to do it this time.
It seems like employees aren't as excited about efficiency gains as much as maybe leadership is.
Yeah.
And so the goal a little bit of the AI workshop is to kind of make it clear, like, this isn't about efficiency. This is actually like, we want to upskill you.
Your job easier.
You want to make your job easier. Yeah. We want to make you smarter.
Yeah.
Like we want to make, like just the work that you do every day more enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I think like at the very, like before you even roll out a tool or, to talk about, agentic automation, you got to lay down the ground rules of the company. It's like, no, we're not here to replace you. Yeah. Like we're here, like we want you guys to be the ones who actually build the agents and maintain them. I think that's been a
collaboration.
That's been a key piece of, I think, what you have talked about is just like the difference, in this sort of next generation of agents is like, it's not set it and forget it. It just replaces. It's like actually employees have to be the ones who keep building on them and making them better and making their, like training their coworker. Like they have like an intern. You don't just train the intern one and it's done. Like you got to keep doing it. And so the AI workshop is the start of like laying out that framework and getting people bought in. Then the second piece, I think, is you've said like use case discovery.
Yep.
Right. So it's not just here's a tool, but it's like, let's go and find those nails. What is the process that you've seen that companies run that helps them effectively find the strongest use cases?
Yeah, it's all part of that same workshop. So to your point, bottom-up approach works well. So bring in the right people. Beyond making their job easier, these are the types of people that probably have a lot of tribal knowledge. It's the people that are getting pinged left and right. Hey, can you help me with, help me with this? I got to answer someone again. I've answered this 10,000 times. So you bring in the right people, you start asking them the right questions, and we have a list of them we'll go through. You start to find areas of opportunity to automate.
Yeah, and that's the key thing. I think, Jake, when early on that the mistake of going into the AI workshop, okay, you go through the phase of education and making sure everybody's bought in. But when you move into the AI workshop, you can't just go, hey guys,
What do you want to automate?
What do you want to automate?
Yeah.
What are you going to use for AI? And so what you've done is you basically have three frameworks, three questions that you ask the employees, and to basically kind of get it out of them in a way that like, well, they actually can understand and find use cases. Let's, I think, go through what are those. Like, what is the first question that you go to for employees who join the AI workshop?
Yeah, for sure. So let's dive in. First question that we always ask is, what time-consuming processes does your team or you handle repeatedly that you don't really need creative thinking or judgment calls? It might be like, click this, copy paste that, whatever it is. It's very monotonous and something that can be repeated. You do it all the time. So I think that's the first question.
And so the first one there, like, what are the big insights that you think you pull from that? Like, why is that the first question that you're asking?
I think it's because we're trying to find something that's repetitive. It's maybe rule-based or something that AI can actually handle, but also it goes straight to a pain point. I think that's the most important part. Is it's not just, well, we could automate that. It's, I really want to. I don't like doing this, or I think it could be done better, faster, cheaper, whatever it is. It gets right to the root of that.
Yeah, and something that I think what is interesting when you ask this question too is you guys run the sticky note strategy, right? Where you're actually in the room and you run this AI workshop with about 30 people. You're having everyone put the sticky notes on the board.
Yeah.
So everybody can see what everybody else is doing. Because I think that's the thing, the unlock is like, it is a new reframing and you're having to sort of build off other people. Because even if you sit in a room, you're like, what are the tedious things I do every day? And then you go, oh, Katie had a really good idea. I do something very similar to that. Oh, I'm going to do that. And so you're basically just compiling this massive list of like every tedious process that you can on like a single whiteboard, right?
Yeah, part of it is sparking inspiration. You're seeing what other people are thinking about and you go, oh, I do that as well. But because of that, you're also able to draw sort of, patterns maybe. And it takes you beyond just what can I automate that only I do? And what does the team do that could lead to more collective benefits? And if we automate this thing, Katie, me, and you are all happy.
Yeah. And then the other thing too is that you guys aren't even at that point like talking about AI. You're just literally talking about what do you do today?
Yeah.
And like, the people who are leading the workshop and you're kind of like the one who is able to identify and see like what the trend is. But you just want to get people in the habit of like thinking about what they do every day and what's the BS part of the things that they just like don't like doing.
It's starting with the problem. It's like you were saying with the hammer, and we're giving this tool, as a lot of people will flip it on its head and go, great, what can I do with AI? It's like, no, back up. What do you do in your day that maybe AI could help solve?
Yeah.
And so we kind of separate it in two steps. Let's start with what you're doing first.
Got it. So it's basically, you ask the first question, do the sticky notes. What's the second question?
Yeah, second question is, where do you see your people getting bogged down in manual work that pulls them away from strategic stuff you hired them to do?
The second question, which is really interesting and what we see across the board, is that the things that people do every day, you get hired as a salesperson.
Yeah.
And it's actually trying to challenge them of like, what are all the things that you do in your day that are not sales?
Yeah.
And like, you kind of have this in discussion format, right? Which is like, as a team, like you're kind of brainstorming, like you got hired as a salesperson. Why are you spending all this time like after the deal?
CRM,
there's so many unique processes that you join a new sales team and they're like, you're selling yourself, but also like when you close a deal, like do this, and this, or like, all right, after every meeting, respond to follow. Exactly. And it's sort of those like, and we are so baked into us that like the processes that fall outside the like core competency, what you hired for, is actually also like very prime for like the AI coworkers to handle. Like you shouldn't be doing the things that you weren't hired for.
Well, it's things that have to get done, because if you don't update your CRM as much as you don't want to, and it's not what you were hired for, it does technically mean it's harder to sell because you're missing context and information. So it's things that need to get done, but not necessarily by you.
Yeah. And it's I think this part, it's the reason you have it as like a discussion too, is because it's also like the most difficult. Like it's the brain pattern of like, all right, updating your CRM is not actually like selling.
Yeah.
Like that isn't but maybe if you're a salesperson, you've done it your entire career. It's like, all right, after a sales call, I got to go update my CRM. I got to go do those things.
Status quo. You don't even think that you can.
And the
change
goal
it.
is like, as a team, as you're sitting around the table, like, can you challenge the things that you do on a day-to-day basis that like maybe you shouldn't be doing? Maybe
Right.
that's not actually, what you're supposed to be doing.
That's such a good point. It's just, you're like, well, this is what I've done forever, so I'm going to keep doing it. You got to stop. This is a good kind of forcing function to stop and go, wait, should I be doing that? Is there a better way to do it? And from there, that's where you're going to see, again, those areas to improve.
Exactly. So it sounds like, all right, you've got the sticky notes on the board. You've had this where you've got like, here are the tedious things just generally I could think of. Then you've reframed it to a new discussion, which is, what are the things that I'm doing that aren't actually should be part of my job that I've never even thought about because I just thought it was part of my job. What's the third question that you ask? What's the sort of third final?
Yeah, third question that we ask is, what operational processes create bottlenecks or delays that impact your ability to hit your key objectives?
And so this is basically, you're kind of starting with, all right, what is the goal? You're a salesperson, you have to hit this number, or you're a marketer and you got to, get these many leads for the company. And it's just backing up and it's going, why can't you get there? Like why aren't you hitting your quota?
And even going with the example that we've been using of the CRM, it's maybe someone says, I just don't have enough time in the day.
Yeah.
You go, maybe because you're spending a lot of time copy and pasting your notes, clicking this button, clicking that button. And if you didn't have to do that and you had an extra hour in your day, maybe you could have more calls, more preparation for those calls, and just eventually that would lead to closing more deals.
And I think the other thing that you guys do well, and something that you push on leaders, is like, when you get to the third question, you kind of have to make it a safe space. You kind of have to make it of like, all right, what are the areas that the company is failing at that you're afraid to admit? Like, you're like, okay, sales team, like, why did you not hit 120% of your quota? And let's be fully honest here. Let's just talk about it. And the goal here is that theoretically there are things in their day-to-day process that they should be able to crush their goals that are perfect sort of places where the agent or coworker can assist with. So you basically, this last one is just kind of directly saying, why aren't you meeting the goals that you set forth with your business objectives, and seeing if there's opportunity there?
And being open about it, right? No one wants to admit or say like, yeah, you're right, I didn't hit that goal. But this is the perfect point in time to go, let's acknowledge that. No one's mad. And what do we need to do to address that in the future? Yeah.
So you've gone through these three different questions. You got these three different exercises. You got sort of the sticky note strategy, a lot on the board. You've got the sort of roundtable discussion of what is the manual work that isn't part of your job, and then finally is like, what are the business objectives that people are. So you have all this information and context now. You've gone through this sort of use case discovery, and then most importantly, you've got people bought into the next step, which is, how do we move to this phase of like agent building? Or is that the next stage, or am I missing something? What's next?
There's one more step in between building. We always see people, they have the ideas, go, okay, let's go and build. Sometimes they'll do a hackathon, they build every single one of them. It doesn't lead to adoption. What you need to do is you've identified potentially what we call like a roadmap. Like, this is the future vision of all of the different use cases we want to tackle. Now you have to pick one, maybe two, a small subset of them, hopefully something that's generally applicable, like everybody could get behind, everybody's going to get a benefit in some way. Just get a win under everyone's belt. That way you've built the trust, you've gone through hopefully the process of building something, deploying it, and getting it adopted. Now you have all the learnings from that to go, okay, great, let's rinse and repeat. Let's go and build all of the ones that we identified in that use case discovery. But you don't just jump straight into building. That's the easy part.
Yeah, so the building's the easy part. you've got the ideas. It's this sort of requirement gathering phase.
Yes.
And which is like, what is everything I need to effectively go and build the agent? You want everyone building. So this is like, I think, the unique approach that you take when you're running the workshop, and what, our belief at Cassidy is that this can't just be an IT process.
Yeah.
And I know we're going to, talk in future videos about how to build and get into all to the building. But something that we talk about a lot is that agents are ever evolving employees. They're just like employees, they're coworkers. And you need the business users, you need the sales team, you need the rev ops, you need the marketing team to be able to easily adapt and improve the agents over time. Because you go through the requirements, you do all these things, but it can't just be set and forget. There's a lot of tools out there where you have IT build it, but then you realize a week later, wait, we actually wanted to do this, and we wanted to do this.
Process changed.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it becomes critical that like the product that you are using to build agents are easy for everybody to use. Is that, yeah.
For sure. I mean, the agents are kind of like living, breathing tools that people are using, right? Like I mentioned, if your process changes, great, let's go update the agent. And we're not going to have to put in an IT request. Hey, we need to update our agent. Can you do this? The IT person does not know anything about your process and how you go about doing that. You have that knowledge. And so you're able to, just like you would train, a new employee, you're able to teach the AI very easily. Maybe it's even just uploading, an operating procedure or some sort of guide, and it just gets it.
Yeah, really interesting. So basically, to sum it all up, is that the process that you do and what we do at Cassidy is all about this AI workshop. It's about use case discovery. It's about actually getting buy-in from people, because it leads to that next step, which is effective agents that anybody can build, because they're constantly evolving and you constantly identify more use cases. And the best people to find use cases is the actual business.
Going to the source.
Is going to the business experts, the sales team, the marketing team, whatever team it is. So we're going to make another video.
Yeah.
And we're going to go deep about what is the process for building your first agent. Like, how do you get, employees, they're bought into this idea, they run their workshop, they're building their first agent. How do you do that? How do you introduce them to these new concepts and do it in a way that they're excited about and they're bought in to keep wanting to evolve them? And that's what we're going to do in the next video.
Yeah. At this point, you know the what. Now it's the how.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Jake.
Thanks a lot.
And let's go back to the office back here. All right. Thanks for watching.